ambitious they were, and I also just read a shit ton of comics, and so I had a very direct comparison, and I could see that this stuff keeps pace with all the stuff the big boys are doing, and I really dug, this ambition the company had, and it sort of dovetailed with what I want to do in cinema, which is to sort of treat Canadian audiences as number one in something. And so I was like,
Go Hiccup!
Thank you, yeah. So Friday morning I met with them about writing something, and then like Monday or Tuesday I said, hey, can I give you money and invest in the company?
So you bought your way into the creative team.
I highly endorse that methodology.
So you read comics all the time. Well, what was that first comic that you saw like on the spinner rack or whatever in the store when you were growing up? Where you're like, this is for me.
Yeah, it was always Frank Castle. It was always all Punisher. Still to this day, he's my number one. And so we lived in Oshawa for 5 years when I was little, and near our house was this place called New or Canoe Books, which is this like they had all these great old paperbacks and tons of used comics, and we didn't have a ton of money, and so I would do the kind of poor kid thing of string together $2.25, $2.53 if I was lucky, and I would like, okay, so that's like a few sour keys, maybe one or two comics, and then I might have a few coins left to play some Spy Hunter or Pizza. But yeah, no, so it was always Punisher.
So when you were like in Hollywood and movies and TV and all this stuff, and you're seeing this comic book like cinematic explosion, are you desperate to get back into that world to start doing those kinds of movies? Or was this just something that, oh, this is what I'm going to do now?
Yeah, I think that, so it's really, really cool that the world finally started paying attention to comics, so that there's something neat about that, but I also think one of the, crummy byproducts of that is that now there's a lot of people that see comics as just a means to an end, as this is purely a means of getting a movie or a TV show going, and I think that's incredibly disrespectful to the media. And I think you should make the best comics you can, period, and everything that means. And though, if it's awesome enough, it'll become something. This is not to say you can't use comics to audition ideas and workshop and experiment, that's fine, but to treat the entire medium as a means of putting together a movie, I think that's kind of wrong. I think there's comics should be good first and foremost. That's because they might not be. It forces us to other ourselves. It forces us to assert ourselves and articulate ourselves. If you go back to the previous decade, where I never thought I'd ever live to see America beat us at progressive domestic policy, and yet they did time and time again. And so I was happy to have that fucking debacle in Washington, because now that it'll force us to assert ourselves and embrace what's ours and proprietary and different, and to stop just comparing ourselves to one country in the world.
Do you think that it's difficult being Canadian at times, because it feels like our cultural identity gets drowned out? I mean, on television,
This is in English too.
Yeah, you've got three English TV channels that are Canadian, and then you got 75 that are American. And do you feel that Captain Canuck is a necessity, so that on the comic book scene, we've got a Canadian identity in print on the store shelves?
Big time, and I think a testament to that is that, I will very bluntly say, I didn't read Captain Canuck when I was a little kid, but I always knew who he was. And I knew
stamps. Do you remember the stamps?
Yeah, of course. Yes, I had them. I got there was this uncle of mine who really thought I liked stamp collecting, and it was the crappiest birthday presents, but I've got a whole bunch of them. But yeah, and he was always at the periphery. He was always at the back of the store, man, and he's just kind of been in a street fight for shelf space and awareness since Coleman created him in the 70s. In spite of all that, in spite of the fact that he hasn't been running consistently, he's gone away, the books have ended.